My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Luthor Season 1, and this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But I have been meaning to watch this show for the longest time. I've heard great things about it, and it's the first time I really heard about Idris Elba. So let's begin talking about his performance because he is the best part of this show, hands down. I have no idea why this guy is not a bigger star. Like him and Michael Fassbender are two of the most talented people in Hollywood with the two worst agents because this guy should be in so much more. He has so much charisma and he's able to carry this show incredibly well. You've also got Ruth Wilson, who really shows a different side of her than I've seen in other movies. Like Saving Mr. Banks, she's in it. The Lone Ranger, I like her in, but here she just has so much personality and she really does a great job. Then you've got Stephen McIntosh, who plays Ian, and I thought he was terrible. He is so bad and boring and lifeless, and just nothing about his performance worked for me. He's very unconvincing. Then you've got Indira Varma, who plays Zoe, and I thought she was great. She looks beautiful, but she's just got lots of screen presence, and she does very good here. You've got Paul McGann, who's fine. Saskia Reeves, who I thought did a good job. Warren Brown, Dermot Crowley both do fine. But there's one more performance I want to mention because there's one actress who's only in episode 4, and her name is Nicola Walker, and she plays Linda. And her story is that she finds out her husband is actually an evil piece of shit, and she just brings so much weight to this character, and I was really impressed by her performance here. But the story is where we get into my issues, and this show is episodic, and unless you're a sitcom or a superhero show, I just don't really care for this kind of storytelling. It just makes everything feel so rateless and just so artificial. Like one episode, they can go through some terrible stuff, and the next episode, everything is fine, and it's just rinse and repeat the same kind of formula time and time again. And like it does have some great moments. Episode 2, they're trying to catch this guy, and he's very smart, and he finds a way to target the cops in really impressive manners, to be honest. But the ending of this episode was unsatisfying. Episode 4, like I mentioned, had some weight to it. And I like the whole idea of Luthor just trying to do his job while dealing with his personal issues, his personal relationship, and how his functionality is kind of based off of that. And then the last two episodes, we get to a point where Luthor's love interest dies and he gets set up for it. And I'm like, okay, is this how they're going to set up season 2? But then everything's resolved at the end of the episode. And like I don't know, it just was so unsatisfying, and the way that episode went about with Luthor controlling his emotion and wanting Ian to stay alive, I did not buy it for a single second. And I don't know, I just feel like you've got so much generic and forgettable storytelling here, and it's just thematically very empty. Like, yes, you've got this story of this guy trying to do better, but it's very surface level. Like, at its core, this show is about nothing. It's not about redemption or trying to balance life with your job. It's just unfocused, and there's no emotion present here, really. And it's afraid to fully dedicate itself to what it's trying to do. Like, we see the flaws of Luthor. And I thought, okay, so this is going to be like BoJack Horseman and Better Call Saul, but with a police officer. Someone who keeps making terrible decisions that you want to look away from, but you can't. And I'm like, okay, I'm on board with this. And it just doesn't commit. And I'm like, do they want us to root for Luthor? Like, I don't know, it's just so nothing. There's just nothing about this show that, despite some of the positivity I've given it, I've already forgotten most of the season, and I watched the entire thing in the past 2 days. It's just in one ear, out the other. Or I should say, in one eye, out the other eye. That doesn't work as well, but you get my point. And I think I need to bring up the biggest issue of this show. And it's the fact that every single episode is like 30 minutes too long. This show has 60-minute long episodes. Okay, fine. That's normal nowadays. I watched an episode of Succession and it's over like that. But here, I kept thinking, okay, I'm close to the end of the episode. And I check, and I'm not even halfway done. That happened with each and every episode. There is no sense of momentum or pacing in this show. It is just boring. Like, if this show was focused up, it was about one unsolvable case, this one killer who isn't getting caught, and Luthor's trying to catch him while dealing with his relationship issues, and then at the end it turns out Ian was behind everything, and John finds out, and Ian in return kills Zoe, and that sets up the next season, I would be like, great, I love it, that would work. But the way the show exists now with this storyline and then this storyline and this storyline and this storyline, it's just so hollow. It's just so nothing. Idris Elba keeps it slightly entertaining. It does have its moments, so I won't go too harsh. But man, this show better pick up next season. But for now, I'll give season 1 a 4 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Luthor season 1? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.